somewhere beyond the known stars, from the frequency where questions become music. Prepare yourselves for the host of this transmission, the cosmic band leader, the dangerous question asker, Mexico Johnson.
Greetings, travelers. I am Mexico Johnson, your signal architect for the evening, and you have tuned into Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight. On tonight's show, we're going to take you on a wild ride. Whoa, excuse me.
Get him out of here. What are you doing here, man? What is he doing here? In my damn seat. Shoot. What's up, y'all? Had to get that boy Future Mexico up out of here. It's not his turn yet. It's still my turn. I am the actual live and direct, real time in effect, Mexico Johnson here for y'all tonight. I am the signal architect for the evening, getting ready to ask some dangerous question here on Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight. Here we are back with another episode 14 after taking a short week off there. I had a little bit of a vacation there. I got to enjoy some time away from the show and recalibrate. And here we are. We are back at it. I did miss you guys. I did miss the show. It was a fun week on vacation, but still, it was weird not doing the show after going 13 weeks straight. Man, it definitely did take me out of my rhythm and put me in a new mind state to not do the show for a week. Interesting to be back here, though. But this is week 14, and we're doing the thing. Man, in that time away, I did get some extra time to really think about what's been working for the show and what I want to change here. And I am excited to deliver some new updates and some new changes to the show here over the next few weeks. But for tonight, we're going to keep it simple. I don't got nothing too crazy going on tonight or anything that's going to take us too far out of what is our normal flow here. But I do want to let y'all know that I am very excited to say that we got some cool new updates coming to the show coming real soon. One of the things that I want to get out there first for y'all is we are going to be doing an email list coming soon here. You'll be able to join our email list and stay up to date with what our latest projects are. And I am going to open up a place where people can submit donations and be a part of contributing to what we're growing and what we're building here. And, I'm still building that out. Not something that I want to announce for or, implement for this week. But at least I wanted to announce it to get that out into the air. That's where we're going with this. We're going to have an email list for you guys here coming soon where you can stay up to date with what we're doing and what we're talking about and get into what's coming next for this company and this project that we're building. So, as for tonight, though, we're going to get right into it. Again, I'd like to welcome all the time travelers here with us tonight. Again, my name is Mexico Johnson, a.k.a. Mexico Coast to Coast, broadcasting vibrations from the new organized world. And this is a place where we don't argue with the future, we interview it. Now, in alignment with the cosmic concordance, we are going to get ready to let's agree to disagree tonight. What I want to think about here, this week, something interesting happened. That boy Ye sold out SoFi Stadium. It was 2 nights, packed crowds, and over $30 million in revenue generated. And now, at the same time, he's being blocked from performing in the UK. So you've got one reality where the audience shows up and they patronize and they contribute and they have a good time and they enjoy themselves and they get to view one of the best live concert experiences that artists has ever brought to our attention. And on the other side, you got a system that says no, a system that says this man is dangerous, a system that says this man is unfit for public consumption, and that he says some things that are unredeemable and unforgivable and unacceptable under any terms. And so now the question isn't just about him, But the question is then, who is the real bully? Is it Ye or is it the system? Because in 2026, those aren't always the same thing. And if we think about that, then who's really the bully here? Because that was what they tried to throw at Kanye, was that he was, being anti-Semitic, and that he said some things that were offensive and upset the Jewish community. And since then, he has apologized. And I mean, that apology is half of the reason why he was able to do the performances in Los Angeles the other night at SoFi Stadium. But I guess according to some of those people out there in the powers that be, they don't feel like that he's apologized enough, and that he still should do more to disavow anti-Semitism, and he should do more to make up with the people that he offended. If we keep it 100, though, I tell you what I think it is. When them folks see Kanye up on that stage performing, the greatest stage design that we've ever seen, the greatest light show that we've ever seen, the greatest track list, set list that we've ever seen. When those people really look up and see Kanye doing that, they seeing a man that is operating outside the system and making way more money than they ever accounted for. And that is a problem for them, because they are the kind of folks who believe that they should be getting a piece of that money. And here we are in a space where a man like Kanye could make $30 million in a weekend. He can make $30 million in a weekend and not have to break bread with them folks. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. And just to put that framing into context again, it's interesting that he's going with this album that's titled Bully. There was an interesting clip of him talking about how he decided upon the name for the album, and he said he was inspired for the name when he saw his son Saint playing on the playground with some other kids, and Saint kicked one of the other kids, and Ye went up to him and asked him, was like, Saint, why you do that? That's not right. Why would you kick that little boy like that? And Saint was like, because he's weak. That boy Saint, that's that baby Ye for sure. Because just that idea, that concept, that mindset, it was enough to, make Ye title the new album off of that. This idea that, being a bully is something that we all deal with. Bully is a universal concept, whether you've been bullied or you've been the one who was bullying someone else before. I think we've all had our experiences with what it means to deal with a bully. And I want us to propose that question to the audience tonight. I think that's what we're seeing on a larger scale. Finally, like a person like Ye who has come back, has rehabilitated himself after going through a public mental health crisis, to finally be on the other side of that and have made his apologies and made it back onto the stage and given his fans one of the greatest performances they've ever seen. For that man to have made it to this point, and for there to still be another group of people out there that say like, no, that's still not enough. We still don't think it's proper yet. And we still want to hold you back, and we still want to keep you from performing in the UK. And I've been keeping my eyes open to see if any of the other countries where he's going to be performing soon cave to the pressure, or if they'll stick to their guns. Like, I got my eyes on, there's a couple shows he got coming up in the Netherlands in June. I also saw like he's got some more performances in like Italy and, around that area in July. It'll be interesting to see if those countries stick to their guns or if they try to fold too. Interesting. I got this here I wanted to pull up for you guys. If I bring in the TV here real quick, one sec. We got the TV here, and then I'm going to switch it to the right channel. And I got this pulled up already. Here we got the actual apology that Ye did post, and he shared with the world already after he went through his uh, bipolar episode in front of the world. And we could just read this here from Ye. It said, "To those I've hurt, I've been following the conversation around wireless and want to address it directly. My only goal is to come to London and present a show of change, bringing unity, peace, and love through my music. I would be grateful for the opportunity to meet with the members of the Jewish community in the UK in person to listen. I know words aren't enough. I'll have to show change through my actions. If you're open, I'm here." He said, if you're open, I'm here. And what did they say? Ban that nigga. After Kanye posted this, he was subsequently banned from the UK government. And then the Wireless Festival has been canceled since then. The Wireless Festival didn't even try to follow up with like a backup festival or try to bring someone else into it. Like they're just like, fine, then if we can't have Kanye, then we can't have nobody. Shout out to Wireless Festival for sticking to their guns. And then, I don't know, this next tweet here, just another example of how hypocritical this conversation is, because that same UK government that just banned Kanye and said that he wasn't conducive to the public good and that he's not allowed to perform in the UK, that same country was the country that just 2 weeks ago abstained from recognizing the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. It says here the UK abstained on a UN resolution to recognize the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity, despite overwhelming support from non-European countries. And now this is the same country that want to have some higher moral stance, like they stand with humanity against anti-Semitism and these destructive forces out here. But meanwhile, these are the same people who at the same time just refused to acknowledge the transatlantic slave trade. Just 2 weeks ago. The nerve of you niggas. And here's some more tweets just following up on the conversation here. Like, a government controlling what a music festival does in 2026? We are cooked. Again, like, when have we ever seen the government step in and say, no, y'all not allowed to have a concert? That's weird. That's strange. Give Ye his credit. Give Ye his props. I do think this is evidence that what he did last week at SoFi Stadium was that big of a deal. It was something that was that important. It wasn't just another show on another night. It was a show that actually raised some people's antennas and said, hey, wait a minute, we got something interesting going on here, and we can't just allow that to go on unchecked. We got to go out here and do some bullying now. No other demographic of people has this much motion. I'm so sorry. We need to call a spade a spade. I think that's true. I don't think we've ever seen any other demographic put up an artist that made this much international noise. Let me know. I mean, Bad Bunny, he cool, but Bad Bunny, he ain't never had to get banned from a country for what he said or stood on. Taylor Swift, she ain't never got banned from a country. Here's another interesting thought, because this just takes us take it back another few weeks before this happened. It was talking about a white man with a neurological disorder shouting slurs in public. It means he must be understood and forgiven. And actually, he is the truest victim of the situation. Meanwhile, a black man with a neurological disorder and mental illness having manic episodes on the internet, he must be punished to no end and be viewed as irredeemable. I remember that. It was just a few weeks ago when that happened at the award show, when that dude with the Tourette's card was yelling out the N-word in the middle of the show while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo was trying to accept the award. And nobody talked about how offended the black community was or how hurt the black community was by that man's actions. It was just, oh, well, he has a mental disability, so we should be able to look past it. We should be able to accept it. And at the same time, Kanye, we know that he was having mental issues. He was having a manic episode live in real time in front of the whole world and dealing with bipolar. and dealing with having unbalanced medications. And at the same time, they told us that man was wrong and that we got to condemn him and that he should be ashamed of what he said and that there's no room and there's no excuse for what he said. Okay. PBT posted here. He said, the hairy need, porridge munching, snaggletooth inbreds in Britain have used their government to block Kanye West from doing his show there, which has now resulted in an entire event being canceled. Now, when are they going to deport John Davidson? Interesting. I got one more for y'all here. This is funny. When that dude from Friends was trying to call himself standing up and speaking out against Kanye too, like, boy, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere. David Schwimmer took to social media to thank several sponsors who pulled their support from the UK Wireless Festival, where Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is set to headline for 3 nights in June. He says, it's great to see companies with moral clarity, unlike Wireless and Festival Republic. They decided not to platform an artist who became one of the most recognizable hate-mongering bigots in the world. One of the biggest, most recognizable hate-mongering bigots in the world. This dude, and that's why Kanye tweeted this, Friends wasn't funny either. Like, bro, come on. You famous for being on Friends. That show is like whack, bro. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes over the next couple of weeks. We're going to continue to monitor this situation where Kanye is performing and where's Kanye allowed to perform. And this tweet is funny here. He says, I'm not going to say what people are stopping us. I ain't going to say what race of people is trying to stop us. But yeah, we're going to monitor the situation. We're going to keep our eyes on it. We're going to see if he's allowed to perform his other shows or if the other companies try to ban him and slow him down along the way. Again, I do want to see Kanye perform before it's too late. I mean, we're talking about these shows in the Netherlands and we got some shows in Italy coming up. Like, shoot, give me a reason to use my passport. I do think I would like to go see the brother Ye do his thing. I think that might be something worth going to see. I like this image here, the caption being the whole world is talking about Ye again. I mean, again, just if we take a second here to look at how beautiful this stage design was, they literally have my man standing on top of the world with some of the craziest light show supporting him. I remember while I was watching that because I was on vacation and I had to stay up late to watch the show. But man, I remember like I stayed up to like 2 a.m. watching him perform. And just like every time I thought about going to sleep, this dude dropped another crazy banger or he would bring out another crazy guest performer. And man, every time I thought about going to sleep, he would just have me locked in for another, 10, 15, 20 minutes. I couldn't look away from the TV. And I just know in real life that show was going crazy. So I got my eyes open, man. The next time Kanye in my neighborhood or anywhere nearby me, we're going to have to see what's up with that. I got my plans to go see about Ye and go enjoy one of them shows for myself. I'm going to leave the opening question there for the time being. Let me get this TV up out the mix. I'm going to go back to the question here. So who is the real bully? Is it Ye or is it the system? At this point, I'm going to go ahead and light my joint and we're going to get started for the next exploration segment of the show. I'm thinking about having this like actually like have a title and have a like little transition bumper. But that's something else I'm going to set up for the next week. But at this point, I want to transition to the next phase of the show. I'm thinking about like what I still want to call it officially. But, we've already opened up the show with the question for the week. And we've already explored the question a little bit. So now this is time where we might want to hunker down a little bit and see what people actually think. At this time, I don't got anybody really on here live with me tonight. Now, to be fair, leading up to episode 14 again. My goal wasn't so much to focus on the viewership and the retention as much as I was trying to focus on the format and get this, the structure of the show clearer. I think we've successfully done that up until episode 14 here. And that does give us the runway now with episode 15 and beyond to really start focusing on what, building this viewership is going to look like. Because again, I'm looking at these numbers right now. I got 0 people on the TikTok sitting in here with me, 0 people on the YouTube, and there's probably only 1 person on the Kick, and that 1 person on the Kick probably ain't even a real person. That's probably just like a computer or a bot or something sitting there. So I'm really just sitting here by myself, and while I'm sitting here by myself, I am not afraid to go ahead and light my joint. My mom asked me, like, what if like one of your employers see you live on the air smoking? You can see the viewership numbers. Ain't nobody watching this show. I can do what I want to do here. And if it was anybody who came across this stream and was viewing it back in the future and wanted to question me about my choice to smoke live on the air, is it bothering you? This show with 2 viewers? Is it really bothering you that I'm here smoking a joint right now? So for our quick reset, we got the boy Ye. He can fill up a stadium, but he still gets blocked. We want to really think about then who's really in control here. Is it the artist or is it the system? For me, this is an exciting time to support Ye, because now it's not only about supporting the artists that we love and appreciating and patronizing the music that we love, but now it's also about making a statement against the people who want to try to silence our voice. Now going to a Ye concert, it ain't just a self-serving activity. Now it's an act of resistance. It is now an act of resistance to go to a Ye concert. Who's the real bully? Another thing that I really love about this whole situation is I really like to see that Kanye is going to be sticking to his guns as well. He's not been backing down. And I like that statement he put out. He's all about bringing a performance that's going to push love and peace and unity. That's all he really want to talk about at this point. And if there's anybody who's still stuck on the old things, talking about where he said something that was hateful, or he said something that hurt somebody's feelings, or he said something that a community didn't like, we can be adults about it. Let's go ahead and put it out there. If you felt a certain way about something he said, we could put that out there and we could deal with it. And, if the man say his apologies, let the man his apology rock. He ain't got to get on his knees and beg for forgiveness every day for the rest of his life. If the man apologized once already, we should let that be good enough. After he apologized, let's move on. And plus, if nothing else, the new album actually is fire. If y'all actually go listen to Bully actually is a really good album. From beginning to the end, through and through. No skips. It actually is a really good album. It kind of, reminds me of basketball or, sports in general when they say, whatever hard time a team is going through, like winning solves all the issues. No matter what your team is going through. A good win for the team solves all the issues. And I think if we translate that over to Ye, and we translate over to the field of music and the art of musical performance, shoot, when it comes to a person like Ye, no matter what he said or who he offended or what he did, dropping another dope album is the antidote to all of that. And that man successfully done that. And that them shows at SoFi Stadium this past week are a testament to that. So if you're just tuning in, we're looking at Ye selling out stadiums while still being restricted elsewhere and asking a simple question. Who actually decides what's allowed? The person or the system? For every person that bought a ticket, did their voice matter? I saw that before they canceled the wireless festival, they did open up the pre-sale for the tickets there, and it took less than an hour for pre-sale to sell out. Hey family, what up though? We just here talking about Ye and talking about how he's able to sell out stadiums while still being blocked elsewhere. They still trying to block him from entering the UK and stuff like that. And we just asking the question, who's really in control here? Who really decides what is allowed? Is it the person or is it the system? And again, I was going on to say, when they did open the pre-sale for those tickets at the wireless festival, the pre-sale for that festival sold out in less than an hour. The pre-sale sold out in less than an hour. So the people have spoken. The people have spoken and said that we want Ye here. We want to actually go to a Ye concert. But then to have the government step in and say, no, that's not allowed. And that's not conducive to the public good. What are we really doing now? What are we really dealing with? Since when has the government been allowed to tell us what concert we're allowed to go to? That's weird. That's something that's new to 2026 as far as I know. And are we going to stand for that? Are we just going to let that rock? Are we going to let that fly? Are we just going to roll over and forget about it? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the big, the long-term reaction to this is going to be. Because again, I think it is already turned into the idea where buying a ticket to a Ye show is a sign of resistance now. Buying a ticket to a Ye concert is a sign that you're not down with the system and that you got a new idea for what you really want to do. And it might be different from what they wanted you to do, what they programmed you to do. Man, we've already been on for about 30 minutes now. That's crazy how this time be flying, man. All right. I ain't gonna dwell on this for too long for real, because again, with this being episode 14, this is kind of just me getting back into the groove of things this week after having a week off. And I do got some new ideas that I want to get to for next week. Episode 15, I do want to switch some things up. I do want a few things to look a little different here between now and next week on episode 15. So this episode 14 is just like a little in-betweener episode where it's like you're gonna see echoes of the previous 13 episodes here, while we also setting the stage for what the next 13 gonna be like. So all right, it is what it is. Appreciate everybody who tuned in here, man. Shout out to the homie Ye, and I'm looking forward, man. I'm looking forward for them to announce when the next concert near me is gonna be, because I'm looking forward to buying one of them tickets. In the meantime, here, we're going to get ready to do a short commercial break, and then we can come back and do the Resonance Report, the all-new segment that we just set up here that's going to give you guys some new weekly news about tech and AI that y'all need to stay up on. So, We're going to do a short commercial break here, and then we're going to come back at you with the Resonance Report here next. Let's do it.
In an increasingly complex world, people are finding new ways to stay balanced. Personal cloud is now part of the environment. Available everywhere, the future is already happening.
Personal Cloud helps you retrieve what matters. For access, contact your IT department. Availability subject to reality.
Resilience affects stupid humans.
What kind of name is that? Doesn't matter.
You seen this?
I'm trying not to.
The Trash Tape, available in dumpsters everywhere.
Welcome back to Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight. Signal is locked. Let's continue.
Alrighty, we back up in this thing. We gonna go ahead and get into it then. You got coming at you now what we like to call the Resonance Report. All right. This is the Resonance Report, your weekly briefing on the tools, tremors, and tectonic shifts moving through the AI age. First up, we got a story here from Meta. Meta tries a new spell book. Meta unveiled Muse Spark, the first big model from its rebuilt superintelligence team, and this time the pitch is speed, efficiency, and tighter integration across Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and its glasses. Translation: Meta still wants back into the main AI boss fight, and it's spending like a company that found a money printer in the basement. Next up, OpenAI keeps moving from lab to empire. OpenAI announced the next phase of enterprise AI, rolled out new team pricing for Codex, and also acquired TBPN, a tech talk show with the deep Silicon Valley reach. So yes, the company is still building models, but it is also clearly building distribution, influence, and a bigger microphone. They acquired a show called TBPN. We might have to check in with them. Why they ain't acquired LATDT yet? Story number 3. Anthropic leans hard into cybersecurity. Anthropic announced a cybersecurity initiative with major partners including Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple, giving them early access to an advanced security-focused model. That is a strong hint that the next AI gold rush is not just chatbots, it's a machine speed, defense, audits, and digital border patrol. I did see something about that. That was an interesting story that came out. They came out with this new AI model that's so powerful and so advanced that they didn't even want to give it out to the public yet. They holding it behind the scenes and only giving it out to certain companies, like they mentioned Google and Amazon and Microsoft and Amazon, Apple, all those guys, right? So that they can test it out behind the scenes and test out their different vulnerabilities in their softwares that they currently use. Like, this AI is so advanced that like it can crack any vulnerability in any software. So if you are a company that makes money off of software, you don't want a super intelligent AI that can crack any software being out there. So it's interesting that Anthropic is giving these companies a chance behind the scenes to, get first dibs and check them. What as they say, CYA, cover your ass. Give them a second to, cover themselves out here because it's interesting when these next level of AI power hits the streets here. Let's keep it moving. Story number 4. Microsoft goes geopolitical with AI infrastructure. Microsoft said it will invest about $10 billion in Japan to expand AI infrastructure and deepen cybersecurity cooperation with the government. That is not just a business move, it is another reminder that cloud, chips, and model access are now part of global power politics. Story number 5. The Sora era gets a weird little plot twist. OpenAI is shutting down the standalone Sora app later this month, with API access lasting longer, which suggests the company may be folding video generation into a broader product strategy instead of keeping it as its own shiny island. And in AI land, even the future gets ogred. That's cool. That's interesting because again, I still use Sora. If you saw the intro of this episode, that new clip where I had the Future Mexico steal my show at the beginning. Again, I'm still making those clips using Sora. I still got a couple more ideas for what I want to use Sora before they shut it down. But again, if they shut down the Sora app, but we still have API access or like another way to generate videos on the back end, that'd be cool, And I don't necessarily need the Sora app if I can still access that, method of video generation elsewhere. That'd be interesting to see how that works out over the next couple weeks. All right, last story I got for y'all. Spotify makes podcast discovery more prompt shaped. Spotify expanded its AI prompt playlist feature to podcasts, letting users build podcast playlists with natural language prompts. That is immediately relevant for creators because discovery is now getting more conversational, which means title, topic, and framing matter even more. So why this matters for LATDT tonight? The big pattern this week is simple. AI is not just about smarter tools anymore. It is about who controls distribution, infrastructure, trust, and attention. For LATDT, that means 3 practical takeaways. 1. Make content that is easy for recommendation systems to understand. 2. Keep an eye on AI policy because it is quickly becoming a culture war and power war arena. And 3. Treat every new creator tool like a possible amplifier, not a savior. This is what we'll watch next. Let's watch whether Meta's new model actually wins over developers, whether OpenAI keeps absorbing media and workflow real estate, and whether governments start treating AI infrastructure the way they treat oil, shipping lanes, or satellites. The vibes are no longer the new app just dropped. The vibes are the empire maps are being redrawn. And that has been this week's Resonance Report. Alrighty. Well, I ain't gonna keep y'all here too much longer. I'm going to go ahead and let that be what it's going to be for this week. Episode 14 of Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight. I have been your host with the most, the one they call Big Mexico Coast to Coast. And the future is complicated. The signal is noisy and none of us are fully optimized. But I'm Mexico Johnson and this has been Let's Agree to Disagree Tonight. Until the next transmission. Or the next time we cross paths in the algorithm. Good night.